Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. Wow. I'm going straight into the topic today. Today's topic is talking about just let go. For those who like my content, and while you're watching this episode, tap the screen. Let's wake up some more people. Like, subscribe for my YouTubers. Keep showing the love. But today's topic is just let go. It's overly sad when you meet two people who love each other. But here's the real issue. They don't know how to love each other. You could speak loud and still not be heard at all. Your words can be speaking very loud to the ears that you want to hear what you're saying, but the person don't hear you. There are a lot of people who speak but don't feel like they're heard. So therefore, the relationship only stays at a standstill because of the fact that the level of communication have definitely not or have learned how to talk to each other. I see a lot of people who really don't know how to talk to each other. When you look at a man is high on respect. And a woman they think different. We don't think the same way a woman needs provision, protection, and stability is the same way a man needs respect. And what will validate that is a man will leave a woman who makes a lot of money for a woman who gives him the level of respect that makes him feel comfortable. Let me say that again. A woman needs provision, security, and stability, but a man needs respect. In the same regards of how they play into each other's life, it makes sense. When you look at it, a man needs respect as much as a woman needs security, stability, and the fact that she feels protected. But a man needs respect. When a man's respect is compromised, a man will never feel like he's warranted in that situation or he's the king of that situation. A man will ultimately go where they're celebrated rather than where they're tolerated. And that's what a lot of women have to understand. Women will leave a man who can give her the best sex in the world for a man who can provide, be secure, and protect her. That's how much it is needed when it comes to dealing with a woman. Yeah, you may think the logic of a man saying, I'm gonna get my life together eventually, but in most cases, a woman they can't do it when their emotions get involved. When something is neglected as far as economics for a woman will never feel secure, no matter how you slice it. So to my men that say, you know what, let me get, me and you gonna build this empire, and the next thing you know, you wait 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and there's nothing being built. A woman needs a time, a date, and a moment to when you're gonna arrive at your destination. Let me say it again. A woman needs a time, a date, to when you're going to arrive at your destination. You could tell a woman you're planning what you want to do, but a woman needs to know when, where, how, and what time. Women and men don't think the same, especially when their emotions are involved. A lot of times men look at it like, my logic says she's supposed to support me. I understand that, but listen, man, when a woman gets in her feelings, logic has officially left the room. And today we're talking to my men and women. We're talking about just leave or just let go. Sometimes I realize that there are some people who overstay their welcome, knowing that the situation is over. You ever got that friend and you sitting in the house with them and they say this to you? Yo, what you about to do? Say you at my house, right? And I say to you, yo, what you about to do? That is a nice way of me telling you to go home. Some relationships need to end because of the fact that the relationship need to just go back home. It's over, and it's been over. But at times we don't want to let go because of the fact that we're insecure with being alone. There are a lot of people who are inferior to being alone. But sometimes being alone is the best thing because while being alone, you should be learning who you are. One can't learn who they are with being in a situation with someone who's already telling them who they are. So you can become someone in a relationship to the point where you don't even notice who you are. I remember when I went through a bad breakup, and the bad breakup I went through was necessary. And the reason why it was necessary was because I genuinely believed that the woman I was with at the time believed that her feelings were the only feelings that were in a relationship. Anytime I would state how I feel, she would make it about how she feel, never hearing how I felt. And then when she would tell me how she feel, I would neglect how she feel because when I spoke about how I feel, she never heard how I felt. So therefore, the level of communication never made sense. We spoke two complete different languages. And one of the main reasons is because she believed that her feelings were superior to my feelings. Sometimes, ladies, I must admit, men have feelings too. And a lot of times, a lot of men's feelings are neglected because a man is supposed to always have it together, have it figured out, and know what to do in all situations. There are certain circumstances where a man is still trying to learn himself. In the process of learning himself, he's fighting with a woman who's telling him how a man is supposed to be. A woman is fighting with a man telling him how a man is supposed to be. And the sad part about a woman telling a man is supposed to be how, in most cases, you have to ask the simple logic. Where did you come to the conclusion of the man that you're telling me I'm supposed to be like? You have women who grew up in single mother homes telling men how to be men. And to me, it don't make sense. Because I'm asking a genuine question to my ladies on my live. Where did you get the example of this man that you're describing to the man that you're talking to or dating how he should be? Where did you get this example? Where did you see it? Your dad wasn't there, right? Were you going to say your uncle? You didn't live in his household. Were you going to say your grandfather? You also didn't live in his household. Everyone put their best foot forward when you come over to visit. But there's a big difference of living in someone else's house, under their roof, consistently seeing them. Then you'll know there's a complete difference of someone showing you the representative and showing you their actual personality. If you notice in most cases, when you tell kids, yo, your mother and father are good people, they say stuff like, yeah, because you don't know the real them. But you really don't. Because your mother is going to show your friends what she wants them to see. Until that person stay the night and consistently be there, then they'll start seeing who your mother is. So what I'm saying is right now we have men who cannot understand that economics is superior for a woman. It's excessively needed. In most cases, I always say that most women get labeled gold diggers. But the truth of the matter, in most cases, most women are actually stability diggers because they need stability in order to feel like women. But most men who aren't financially mature, they tend to run from their responsibilities and they complain about the woman having actual needs of her being an actual woman. There are certain things that a woman cannot change about herself even if she tried. There are certain things a man can't change about themselves even if he tried. A man is a man and a woman is a woman by nature. There's something that is genuinely birthed in us as men and women. It's nature, right? It's nature. It's just how it goes, right? Like for instance, like naturally, I remember even being young, I would always feel like empathy for women. I don't know what it was, but something about me always feels sympathetic for women. I think it's because I was a man or a boy. Boys always feel more empathetic or sympathy for a woman, and vice versa for girls. Girls feel more empathetic and sympathy for boys. But it's weird. You know the weirdest thing I see? A woman can treat her son like a king, but can't treat a man like a king. A man can treat his daughter like a princess, but never treat his wife or girlfriend like a queen. Let me say this one more time. Listen to this good. A woman can treat her son like a prince, but for some reason cannot treat her man like a king. A man can treat his daughter like a princess, but still can't find it in himself to treat his woman like a queen. Damn. When you really think about how sad that is, you'll see why culturally we're at a deficit. Men think they don't need women, women don't think they need men. I'm gonna go on record and say this to my ladies. One of the worst things you can do in a relationship with a man you genuinely want to be with is withhold sex from them. You might as well tell them to go outside and cheat. Because in your mind, you're thinking from a woman's perspective. Men do not have that same level of holding back as women. Yes, if the testosterone kicks in, the man cannot control himself. That's why they say men are dogs and women are cats. Men don't have the same level of control. Let me say this again. To my ladies on my live and to my women that come listen to this podcast, one of the worst things you can do is withhold sex from a man. Because if you genuinely know that you want to be with that man, I think one of the worst things you can do is withhold sex. I genuinely believe that in most cases, you're basically giving a woman, right? You're giving the woman the manual script to take your man. And it's going to be easier for her to take your man because a horny man is a dangerous situation. Look, my ladies on my live, like, absolutely. Absolutely, I know. But I'm just going to keep it real. Some women think that they're hurting a man by withholding it, knowing that they want to still be with the person, but ultimately, you're going to make the person step out because the person can only go but so long. A man can genuinely try, right? He can try, but the nature of a man isn't the same nature of a woman. A man can literally jump naked within seconds for sex. A woman has to be worked into a mood to have sex, right? And this is the logic. Men and women, we don't think the same. But when you understand it, then you learn that this is why men and women have so much problems. Why? Because we don't think the same, right? When should I stop trying to save my relationship? I'm asking this question. When should I stop trying to save my relationship, right? When should I stop trying to save my relationship? Some signs that it's time to end a relationship include some particular things. I want y'all to hear this good. You both stop trying. That's one example that the relationship has run its course, right? There is no emotional or physical connection or intimacy. There's nothing in between the two of you anymore. Y'all don't see that each other's needs are not being met. You don't even care, right? Let's keep going. You have different goals in life. A lot of times people have different goals in life. This is what it is. You cannot change how a person believes what they should have, right? We have goals. You have goals. You want certain things. She don't want certain things. Sometimes people, if you're not growing together, you're ultimately going to grow apart. Again, if you're not growing together, you're ultimately going to grow apart, right? It's just what it is. You no longer can trust each other. Trust is a major factor in a relationship. And when it is touched or abused, it's like hitting someone and expecting them not to expect you to hit them again. It's hard to trust after you broke someone's trust. I'm going to be fair, right? You can't imagine a future together. So there's no future. You can't see yourself building anything or elevating together or buying houses or intermingling money or buying a house or living together under one circumstance or one house. So right there, you're already failing because your relationship is not really going anywhere. There's a constant conflict or abuse in a relationship, meaning one of the number one abuses that we don't talk about is verbal or even physical. Some people verbally abuse their mate, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman. Saying things like calling each other out their names, that is verbal abuse. We've normalized verbal abuse to the point where we don't even see verbal abuse as being something wrong. People think that I can call you every bit out your name, but then when we go back to normal, I'm going to act like, hey, it never happened. I always ask this simple question. I want y'all to hear this. Watch this. If a woman gets mad and she calls a man out his name to the point where the man is frustrated, and then when they get back together, she say, hey, I was upset. The man is expected to forgive her, right? So I ask this question. If the man gets so mad at him and his woman arguing and punches her in the face and said, hey, I was mad, they will call him a piece of crap. And verbal abuse should be looked at as to the same magnitude because abuse is abuse. No matter how you slice it, the only person that would justify verbal abuse is a person that does it. So I ask, when is enough enough? When should you stop trying? Why do most people walk away from relationships? Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. I'm asking you, why do most people walk away from relationships? 516-253-1150. Why do most people walk away from relationships? Why do most relationships end? We talk about the economics, but one of the other things, number one thing I'm seeing myself is respect. Is respect. Like, I realize that most men will leave a woman because of the lack of respect. Again, I always say this statement that men don't go where they're tolerated, they go where they're celebrated. So that man you're refusing to say, hey, I love you. Hey, you're a great man. I appreciate what you do for the family. That man is only looking for something called a recharge. If you look at a man, right? A man is a battery. And if his woman isn't the thing you put into the bottom of it to recharge it by putting motivation into him, then that woman is not an asset to him. A woman's supposed to be the charger to the man's battery. She gives him light. She gives him energy. She reminds him that he can do more. If your woman is not speaking life into you, then she's ever better speaking death. And there are a lot of women who speak death into their man because they refuse to tell him that he's a good man. You're the best I ever had. I've noticed there are women right now who can upgrade their life with a man, but still act like they've always had this kind of man. Let me say that again. I know men and women who will date someone who was not that great, meet a new guy who is way better, and still not appreciate that new man or woman. Let me say that again. I know men and women who will complain about their relationship that they were previously in, move on, meet a better man, and still find nothing but things to complain about the person. We sit here and look at a situation from its reality and its totality. A lot of men and women right now aren't happy with themselves, so therefore they can't be happy in relationships. We look at men and women today and we say, why are men and women having so much problems? Because you have so many men and women who are completely unhappy with themselves. When they look in the mirror, they do not like what they see. They're fighting themselves because they want to be something they're not. Why do you think they make so much money off of makeup, weave, eyelashes, medical procedures? Men are doing things too, spraying on hairlines and everything. Most people, until you like what you see in the mirror, you'll never like the energy that you give forth. Most people project how they feel about themselves on the outside from how they feel on the inside. So when you see someone talking reckless to you or disrespectful, it's because maybe they're not happy with themselves. I don't hear that. I've noticed that there are men and women right now in today's society who genuinely believe they could be the worst person on earth but still get the best person. Who genuinely believe that they could be lazy but find someone who's not lazy. Who genuinely believe that they don't have to pay any bills but they can find someone to pay their bills. Who genuinely believe that a man or a woman is supposed to do everything I want you to do, but I'm not going to do nothing for you. Who genuinely believe that a relationship is only as good as much as you're willing to do for them. This is the world we live in. This is a sick world. My men and my women genuinely believe that A relationship is only as good as a person is willing to do for them. We don't go into relationships no more looking at it as, yo, what can I do to add value into this situation? What could I do to make this situation even better? How can I help the mate that I want to be with? My lady should be looking at it like, look, what can I do for my man? When my man is weak, I'll be his strength. My man should be looking at it as, when my woman is weak, I'll be her strength. That now you have a very healthy situation. It is unhealthy to have two people fighting about who don't do and what y'all don't do in a relationship. There's never going to be an end to it. You don't do this, but nor do you. You don't pay the bill. We supposed to pay it together. You don't cook. You don't cook either. You lazy too. When you look at a relationship and you see yourself, you have to be able to identify what's wrong with you. I notice most people will say what's wrong in a relationship, but they'll never say what they do to try to fix what's wrong in a relationship. But I went over some people's head. Most people in relationships will tell their mate what's wrong with them in a relationship, but they never try to fix what's wrong in a relationship. A lot of times when you have something called infidelity, right? Infidelity is a very common thing in relationships today. Let me go into records and say this. Infidelity is a very common practice. Why is that? Because sometimes I genuinely believe that a man may fall in love with a woman, but he don't feel comfortable telling her what he's personally going through. So sometimes the new woman gives him energy that he can't get from her. Anytime he tells her anything about what he's going through, in most cases, the longer you are with a woman, the more they make it about them. It is hard, my ladies, getting up every day and being a man and being providers. Sometimes I want to tap out. It is not easy to do it. Every single day to get up knowing that if you don't perform to the same magnitude or better next month, my family will suffer. Look at that responsibility. Come on, listen to that statement again, ladies. Imagine every month, you had a hard month last month, and every month as a man, you know you have to get up and produce to the same magnitude of what you did last month in order to keep your family afloat. And then imagine getting into an argument with a woman and she tell you you're not good enough. And every day you get off your behind, bust your behind, whether you're tired, sleepy, dead, beat up, and anything else in between. But you still do it because you know if you don't do it, the family will fail. And then ultimately you look at it as like you don't do enough. Imagine being in a situation like that, where you know that you're doing the best you possibly can and still feel like the person don't appreciate what you're doing. This is the world we live in. We've been taught how to be very ungrateful. We've been taught how to be very underappreciative. It's sad when you're in a relationship and don't feel like the relationship appreciates you. It's sad when I remember one time I was talking to a girl, she said, I will never stroke your ego because of the fact that I want you to have a big ego. I said, whoa, you won't stroke a man's ego. But every time you wear something that don't look good on you, and you ask me a question, how do I look at it? I'll lie and tell you look good. Because I know that's what you want to hear. So you telling me you can't do that, vice versa? Everything is not about yourself. When you look at a relationship, it's not just about you. It's not just about me. It's about each other. When you say to a man, I appreciate you, I adore you, yo, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this on record from a real man. That is more valuable than you buying that man a piece of clothes or a shirt or a damn hat. Those words is a gift. Let me say it again. Those words are what God has gifted a woman. When a woman can look a man in his face and say, yo, you are doing an amazing job. I appreciate what you're doing for our family. I value you. And I definitely I love the fact that you continuously, every day, get up, whether you're tired or not, to make sure you keep a roof and provide for us as a family. So let me ask you a question to my ladies. And let's be fair. If you are in a relationship, when the last time you told your man that? Damn. I'm on my live right now and I'm looking. Ladies, when the last time you look at your man and said something like that? But you want to hear something? After I see what y'all say, I'm going to tell you something. Watch this. When the last time you looked at your man and told him wholeheartedly how much you appreciate the things that he do for you and the family? When the last time? I'm looking right now. So even if you don't have a man, to my ladies, how often do you think women do that to their man? I told him that all the time. I would have to ask him that. I would have to ask him that. Because sometimes people be lying. I'm just being honest. Sometimes people lie. My other ladies, ain't no other ladies, ain't no men on here? My men, matter of fact, let me ask both of y'all. Men, when the last time a woman has ever, someone said not often enough. I agree. A lady, yeah. Lisa said not often enough. Mine does it every day. I respect that, Flying J. Not a lot, barely. Right? Okay, I see not enough, barely. What else we got? What else we got on here? How often do you think women say that to men? A few times when we were dating. So now you're married. Let me guess, you don't get it no more? You don't get it no more? But I'm going to say this. That woman, right, who's sitting there in the background, wishing she had a man like you know what she do? She'll stroke your man's ego. She'll tell him how she appreciate the little things he do for her. And he makes him want to do more for her because of the fact that he feels appreciated. As I said before, men don't go where they tolerate it. Men go where they celebrate it. And this is the truth. I even brought him flowers, and now we broke up. Wow. Wow. I was telling him at least two times per week. He said that he didn't need that from me. So he say. So he say. He said together, he said we've been together 18 years. I think I had more speeding tickets than her telling him that. That's the real world we live in. That's the real world. Women don't do that. They expect you just to know by being with them. Sometimes I hate to say this, my ladies, y'all make it like it's an honor just to be with y'all. I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes to my ladies, y'all make it like it's just an honor just to be with you. But you have to understand, we live in a world where there are definitely more women than men. So we have to learn that we have to substantially stand out, ladies, to get that king man that you say you want. There aren't a lot of good men out here. And the fact that there aren't a lot of good men out here, sometimes my ladies lose track of the fact that there aren't a lot of good men out here. So to my ladies that do have a good man out here, you should be very appreciative, and vice versa to my men. There aren't a lot of women who have standards, morals, principles, and integrity. So the fact that there are a lot of women, there are more volume of women, but there are less quality. So therefore, again, there are less men, so there are definitely not too many options for a lot of women, right? And that's the issue. Someone call in right now, 516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. See, the thing is, the dilemma that we have in today is you have a culture of people who don't know when to walk away from a bad situation. I think a lot of us are bonders based on our trauma. Not only our trauma, we also bond based on the fact that we scared to be alone based on our abandonment. When you have an issue with mommy and daddy, we tend to hold on to relationships, preserving something that was born bad from jump. The day that relationship was birthed, it was already bad. Because y'all came in both with the same wrong premises. She came in looking for a daddy, and you came in looking for a mother. And this is what we don't talk about. To my men, we don't say things like, yo, it is more feasible and healthy for two people who understand each other's boundaries, who understand respect, who understand each other's needs, who understand each other, period. And they also have something called healthy communication. I told you before, a relationship can speak ever better so loud, but the person could still not hear. In most cases, the silent cries are the loudest cries in a relationship. When a person understands that what you're not saying, right, is more feasible than what you're actually saying. Most people say things without saying anything, and they still don't feel heard because even if they say it, it won't be respected. Damn. Right? A lot of us don't know how to fully appreciate a man, and a lot of us don't know how to fully appreciate a woman. A lot of the times when people describe a relationship, I say that's not a relationship. That's definitely bonding based on trauma. And not only is it bonding based on trauma, trauma and bonding is a psychological response to abuse, right? The person experiencing abuse may develop sympathy for the abusive person, which becomes reinforced by the cycle of abuse, followed by remorse, right? Trauma bonding occurs when the abused person forms a connection or a relationship with the person who abuses them. This is a reality, and this is a very common practice. I know some people who all they do is fight and make up, fight and make up, fight and make up, fight and make up. If you look at their relationship, their whole totality of their relationship is about fighting and making up, fighting and making up. It's like you have Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson in the house, and all they do is fight every day, talking about, you know what, I love you. When things go back to being good, I love you. Ronda Rousey and Mike Tyson in the house, talking about we love each other. And they make back up, and then after that, they get back into fighting again. Some people really don't know how to appreciate a good situation. Regardless of how good it is, they could never, ever, ever psychologically appreciate what they have, right? So is it okay for women to get flowers by not a man unless they're deceased? It's sad because in most cases, they say the man gets his first set of flowers the day he dies. Damn. They say in most cases, the man gets his first bouquet of flowers the day he dies. And this is sad that we've been taught how not to appreciate our men. We've been taught how to not appreciate our women. The only way we can appreciate the relationship is when a person is doing something for us. That's when you show appreciation. How about the fact that this person wants to spend the rest of their life with you? How about that? I think that's bigger than anything. I'm willing to spend the rest of my life with you. I think that is the most feasible reason to love someone and respect someone. It's like, damn, you want to be with me? You wake up every day and love me? Say it again? I'm asking, is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? Most people don't even know that even exists. They don't even know what it is. We got to pull up the statistics of suicides. I'm going to bring up the statistics of suicides. But when you have these conversations, right, if you don't see how common it is, there are so many men and women right now literally dying for attention that they're willing to sell their soul to get attention. People don't have the same moral compass as they had back in the days. They're willing to literally sell their soul just to get a person looking at them. I'm going to be honest with you. When I go on social media, I don't know if I'm on Instagram. I don't know if I'm on Pornhub. Damn. I don't know if I'm on Instagram or Pornhub. It's that crazy. It's like, I'm like, oh my God. Every 3 seconds, grown women, every other picture is either they poking their butt out, twerking, booty popping, showing their cleavage. I'm like, that's all you do. And then you wonder why the men are in your DM trying to sleep with you. They're not trying to be with you. An easy lay will be an easy stay. When you look at They created hotels and they created motels. One is for a fast situation and one is for a long stay. When you look at yourself, ladies, you gotta look at yourself either as a motel or a hotel. Either you wanna be a permanent stay or a long-term situation, or do you wanna be a in and out situation? It's about how you present yourself. And to my men, you want respect from these high value women. You have to high value put yourself in position where you be considerably a high value man. When we say things like a man that has his life together has options, he does. Some people don't like to hear it, but it's true. If I go on record and say this, some women gonna get mad and watch this narrative. And to my ladies and gentlemen that's on my live, answer this to be honest, right? A woman's highest value in the dating market is between 18 and 35 years old. A man value goes up the moment he starts getting his life together. A man could be 65 years old and have a high value in the dating market based on the fact that his economics are together. Somebody could get mad at that, but I didn't create the rule. I'm just telling the truth of it. Someone said facts, someone said truth. I just raised the awareness of truth. A man's value goes up as long as he has his life together, as long as he, right? Someone said, I hear no lies. I just want to say it. Some people get offended when you tell the truth. A woman's value in the dating market is about between 18 and 35 is the highest. Some women less, depending on how she allowed her body to age. Because if a woman, I'm sorry to say this, allowed herself to get bigger, she tend to not have as much value in the dating market to a lot of the high value men. I'm just being honest, right? So my ladies gotta understand, once you start making babies with men, you have to understand that it brings you down a notch. So let's just say here, this is the dating market. You're starting off here. The moment you start having babies, it go like this. I'm being honest. Put on more weight. Men don't like that. And they won't attach themselves to that. But if I say that, right, someone say, you telling the truth. Listen, I don't, sad but true, I appreciate it. I thank God I got people on my live tonight that's very, very mature. Because in most cases, when you say this, oh, he's a male chauvinistic pig. Let me go on record and say this. Men, when your life is not going up economically, your options is going down drastically. So let me say this, men, if your options, your finances are not going up substantially, your options are going down extremely. But again, if you say this, people get mad. They're like, ain't no good girl out here. I said, because you're not a good man. Some men say things like, yo, there ain't no good women out here. I said, because you're not a good man. Some women say, oh my God, these men are trash because you like to shop on a clearance rack. You at the Goodwill looking for a deal. You get what you pay for, right? You get what you pay for. Some people they think they're more deserving than they are. Listen, and I want my ladies to hear this, and I don't want to sound like a male chauvinistic pig, but I want y'all to hear this good. After you make babies, it's not about finding someone that is high value. It's about finding someone who's gonna love you and your children and help you build a life with your children. That is more feasible than you talking about some you want a high value man and you got 2, 3 kids. It just sounds crazy. In the dating market, men don't see other men's children as value. In the dating market, men don't see other men's children as value. But if I say that, oh my God, he won't love my babies. No, why would he won't love your babies when he's a high value man who can make his own babies? Why would he do that? Come on. But there's some person that's saying otherwise, they're delusional. I had a conversation with a lady, she had 5 kids, 5 different fathers, and told me every bit of the man she wants. By the end of our conversation, I told her exactly the man she needs. She said, what is the man I need? I said, you need Jesus. said to me, oh my God. She said to me, I'm sorry. She had 5 kids, 5 different daddies. Talking about I'm a high value chick. Yo, social media is crazy. Yo, you get some of the most craziest people on social media. She said, I want a high value man. You got 5 kids, mommy. 5 different daddies. You need Jesus. You definitely need Jesus. But again, if you if you say this, you're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm just being honest. Listen, God willing, someone comes along and love on her. Because sometimes I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna be fair to women. Some of the girls that might have been promiscuous when they were younger is because of the fact that they may never felt love. They may suffer from daddy and mommy issues. Sometimes what happens is multiple things that can happen when a dad leaves, right? I've seen situations, and I'm being honest and fair now, where a woman will get left by the father of her child. The mother hates her daughter because a part of her feels like the man left because of the child. So there are women who grow up hating their daughter because of the fact that they felt like the reason why the man left was because of the daughter. And I've seen situations where mothers hate their sons because the son looked too much like the dad that caused too much of the trauma. More women who didn't grow up with a man in their household don't know how to take respect or criticism from a man. I'm gonna be honest with you. More women who didn't have a man in the house, they don't know how to take constructive criticism from a man. If a man wasn't in the house, right, it's hard for a woman to take constructive criticism from him because of the fact that the man wasn't there to show him it. If a man wasn't in the house to show the boy how to take constructive criticism from a man, he tends to not know how to take it. So anytime a man tells the man something, he always is on the defense because he never saw it from anyone other than maybe his mom. So it might be a little easier for him to take constructive criticism from an older woman because he learned how to take it from his mother. So sometimes it's hard to give that balance when you've never had that balance. See, life is about a balance. But a lot of us is tight walking on with no net under us through life. We tight rope walking. That's the tongue twister, guys. We tight rope walking on life with no net under us. So there's no net. And a lot of us are still taking risks with our own decisions in our life. I ask myself all the time, when is it time for a man and a woman to leave a situation alone? I genuinely believe that you know when you've outgrown a situation. You know when there's nothing there for you to prove anymore. I think when you stop trying to prove that you're the perfect man for your woman, and the moment she stops trying to prove to you that she's the perfect woman for you, I think then y'all either A, have grown extremely complacent, or y'all got too comfortable with each other. Remember when 2 people first get together, right? It's all about proving to that person that you're the perfect person for them, and vice versa for the man and woman. When you look at it like that, that's when you know a relationship, right, is real, right? Complacency in a relationship is real. A lot of people, it breeds content. Complacency breeds content. A lot of people are very complacent in a relationship because they don't see that the same way you got the man or the woman is the same way you're supposed to keep the man and the woman. If you don't continue to do what you have to do for a man and a woman, you're going to lose that man or that woman. There are people right now who are in situations that they cannot afford to lose, but still say things like, I could do better by myself. But it's sad when you meet the person that say they can do better by themselves and they're not doing better by themselves. Let me say that again. It's sad when you meet someone Right? Watch this. It's sad when you meet someone and they say things like, I could do better by myself. But then when you meet the person and they're by themselves and they're not doing better by themselves. Yo, that's crazy. This is the social media world we live in. Everyone lives in this false fairy tale delusional world where they believe that I'm gonna fake it and act like everything is okay. One of the number one defense mechanisms that men and women use in relationships is saying, I don't need another person, because either A, you can't find that person that you're dreaming about, or B, you're single as hell. Because if you found the perfect person, I doubt you would be saying that. In most cases, people that say they don't need people are because it either A, they're extremely single, so that becomes my defense. I can do better by myself. I'm happy being alone. It is proven that humans will go mentally insane being alone. It is proven. When you're that little woman or that little man that's in that house by himself, you don't want to always peeking out the house, mad at the world, because there's no one else to share life with. Life is about finding someone to share life with and enjoy. We spend more time about controlling people and fighting rather than actually enjoying each other's company, being grateful that I have someone who's willing to spend their time, which is the most valuable commodity that a human has. You're willing to spend your time with me, and I take it for granted. Let me say that again. It is sad when you meet a man and a woman and they spend more time fighting about controlling what they want and insecurities and controlling everything about the relationship rather than being grateful that they have someone who's willing to give them their most expensive commodity, which is their time. And people tend to not appreciate it because we look at it as you're supposed to do these things. And when you look at life as you're supposed to do these things, you're going to realize life is not supposed to do anything for you. When someone is doing something for you and you're not grateful, more than likely you will lose it. We got to learn that as men and women, we completely think different. And it's normally abnormal to not understand that we have to learn how to think better. When you don't think better, you don't act better. When you don't act better, because you don't think better. In most cases, people act and do the things that they think. That's why you're failing. Look at your relationship today, right? And let's have a real look at it. Ask yourself, would I date myself if I was single? If I was in a dating market, would I get in a relationship with myself? I'm asking everybody on my live today. It's a yes or no question. Would you date yourself? Yes or no? Being honest. I'm asking this question. Angel wrote no. Someone with brown, sweet sugar, yes, yes. Someone wrote absolutely. Is it an arrogance thing or is it being honest? So when I ask this question, in most cases, the best person to date is the person that's selfless. Most people that date in the world today, they're selfish. The selfless person is the person who's willing to put themselves last, because guess what? If a person is putting themselves last in a relationship and the other person is putting themselves last in a relationship, is an even exchange. Y'all both is putting each other first. I think that's more healthy. But we look at a relationship like, you know what? Tyrone did me bad. Michelle did me bad. I'll never let that happen again. And the reason why you can't find good love or true love or someone that you can build and grow with is because your heart hasn't been healed from the trauma that you've been through in the past. Most people live so far in the past that they can't even see the future because they're still in the past. What you've gone through don't mean what you have to stay through. In most cases, we stay through what we've gone through, continuously carrying our trauma, our drama, and all our issues into the next relationship. So ultimately, we fail because of the fact that the relationship was destined to fail because of our mentality as soon as we got in the relationship. You saw something that never existed. In most cases, the problem with most relationships is the fact that we genuinely believe that we can see something in someone that they don't see in themselves. Stop looking for you in other people. If you genuinely believe you're this great person, stop looking for you in other people. You're looking for you inside of someone else. I'm a giver. You're looking for a giver. And the sad part is, the person that you're going to sign up for is a person that's usually a taker. You look at it as the fact that you're wifey material, but you're dating every man that are willing to be a boyfriend. You can't be a wife looking for boyfriends. You can't be a husband looking for girlfriends. When you're dating, ladies, you got to look for a husband before the fact that he becomes your husband. When you're dating men, you're supposed to look for a wife before she is your wife. Stop looking for girlfriends. Stop looking for boyfriends. You got to look for someone who ever been the radiance of them. The moment they walk into the room, you can see a husband. The moment that person walk in the room, you can see a wife. There are two types of people we date in this world. One is a girlfriend, and one is a wife, and one is a boyfriend, and one is a husband. The sad part is, most people are stuck in between. They realize that the person is good enough to be my boyfriend, but not good enough to be my husband. The woman is good enough to be my wife, but she's not good enough to be my girl. It's the stuck in between level. And ultimately, we stay in that stuck zone forever. It's sad when someone brag about how many years they've been together, but they ain't never got married. He said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. He clearly don't like it because he ain't put a ring on it. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. He ain't never put no ring on it. He ain't never put no damn ring on it. But you believe that this man is ever better that man for you. We get so uncomfortable being alone because of the fact that we are creatures of need. What we want, how we want it, and when we want it. And when we don't get what we want, we fight, we get frustrated, and we get mad. We got to learn. If we want to change our life, we got to change our perspective. Sometimes it's not the ocean that you're fishing in. Sometimes it's the bait that you casting out. We keep crying about the bait the fish we keep pulling in, but we don't see the bait that we casting out. Who is the bait? You. So if you want to catch better fish, you got to realize that you got to change the bait that you casting out. Because it's one thing to say that I want to get the best, but yet and still I'm not willing to be the best. Because if you want the best, you have to be the best before you can actually capture the best. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some of those fish is running away from you because you're not casting out the bait that they need to be captured. Some of those good women that you want are not trying to be captured because you're not the good man that they want. Some of the good men that you ladies want run from you because your mouth is reckless and you don't know how to give respect and everything is all about you. So therefore, guess what? You're going to continue to get the same men that you definitely deserve. A lot of situations we say, oh my God, I'm a good woman, but you're disrespectful. I don't deserve you. You deserve every bit of what you've got. Because life has karma, and the energy that you put out to the universe will always come back. And men, if you keep taking advantage of your sisters, there's going to be a woman one day that's going to break you down, just like you're going to meet your match. To all my players in the world, and I'm going to say this, they definitely ran into that woman that was every bit of just like them. She's called the she-wolf. She's that killer, boy. And we all ran into her. The one we call feelings for, and the one that broke our heart. And the sad part about getting your heart broken, a lot of us men go through like breaking other women's hearts because of the fact that we got our heart broken. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop comparing each other to the last situations we had. Otherwise, we're going to keep having the same situations as the last situations we had. Let me say that again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop comparing our last situations to the last situations we had. Because if we keep comparing our relationships today to the last situations we had, we're going to ultimately get the same situations we just had. And that's what you continually see. And you're seeing people getting the same situations because they're dating with insanity. They date the same type of people but expect different results. They have dating insanity. They date the same type of people but they expect different results. Listen, you like him tall, dark, and handsome, but your type might be short, fat, and about his money. And it works. So we gotta learn that life don't always give you what you want, but it will give you what you need. And sometimes you overlook what you need because you're too busy overly indulging on what you want. Let me say that one more time. Life gives you what you need, but we spend too much energy on what we want. So what happens is when life gave you what you need, you kept looking for what you want, overlooking what you needed because you wanted what you want. And you got every bit of what you want. And the situation failed because God don't give you what you want, he gives you what you need. And that done went over a few people's head. But I'm gonna say this before I get out of here today. When you realize that life is a total decision based on what you want, there is a time in life where you have to realize that you may have to walk away. And sometimes when you walk away, the best thing is not to go get in another bed with someone else. The best thing is to work on yourself. Rebuild your value, rebuild your mentality, and rebuild yourself. Because I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of the times when you see clothing lines go away, they ain't going away. It's just not mainstream. FUBU didn't go out of style because it's not in the main stores anymore. FUBU actually lowered what they actually sell at, and they still make a lot of money. So sometimes you have to realize when you remove yourself from a certain environment mentally, you'll see that you're able to get better results. But a lot of us have poor results because of the way we think. Because you cannot achieve it if you don't believe it. In most cases, we don't believe that we're worthy by the way we misbehave. So therefore, we continue to get poor results. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave out of here tonight, when is it time for you to leave? When you're no longer happy with yourself. Because if you're not happy with yourself, you'll never be happy in a relationship. Till next time, don't let that go over your head.